Good morning. I only decided to do a video at this time uh, within the last 10 minutes. And the title and the blurb and everything was created within 10 minutes, although I've been out of bed. I've been awake since about 4 o'clock. So I got about 4 hours of sleep. But in any case, what came to me is the title, Forgetting Those Things That Are Past. I'm going to piss some people off and make others happy by quoting from the Bible. Here's the text I want to talk about today. Philippians 3, verses 12 through 14. 12. Not that I have already obtained it or have already become perfect, but I press on so that I may lay hold of that for which also I was laid hold of by Christ Jesus. Brethren, I do not regard myself as having laid hold of it yet, but one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and reaching forward to what lies ahead. 14. I press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. And the truth is, I'm now talking, not reading. The truth is, I didn't even get a chance to meditate much on it, having to get the set ready, light the candles, turn on the lights, comb my hair, get my sacred geometry ink and pendulum or necklace or whatever you want to call it out. It was underneath my shirt. Anyway, I had to make all the adjustments, so I really didn't get a chance to meditate on it, but that forgetting those things that are past is what came to mind, and that's taken from that text, which of course I Googled to see exactly where it was. I knew it was in the Bible, and I knew it had to do with focusing on what lies ahead, which is what I really want to talk about today, because I had a conversation with someone yesterday who said that 2014 is going to be the worst year yet. And basing that, of course, on some of the dire predictions that come across our path of economic collapse and of all sorts of war and earth changes and other calamities hitting the human family and hitting the planet Earth. Maybe I'm sitting in a Pollyanna space. Maybe I'm looking through rose-colored glasses. But I think the future that lies just ahead of us is the brightest it's ever been. Now, I could have said that 2 years ago, quite honestly, even 3 years ago in December, when I was told that 2011 would be a year of massive visible changes. There were massive and visible changes that were happening, but not what I expected. 2012 was the same, not what I expected. 2013 so far has been the same, not what I expected. The old system, the old paradigm, still continues to hold on, still continues to be manifest in our daily lives, for those that pay attention anyway. The news still is not good news. But like I've done with my life, I don't look at where I've been so much as where I'm going. And I've long thought that the best years of my life are ahead of me. I still think that, even at age 67. I still believe that my best years, and that the reason that I came and became a human being on this planet in 1946, the reason I came here was to help establish something good on Earth. I believe that. I've had that vision my whole life. Since I was a little boy, I've defined it differently because of belief systems and environments in which I was living and having my experience. And I was raised reading the Bible, and I used to read the Bible through, starting in 1962, I read the Bible through every year for several years in a row. And at one point, I actually read the whole thing through in 4 months when I was looking for something regarding British Israelitism, or the fact of that Britain and the United States are modern descendants of ancient Israel. Well, if that's true, it's no wonder that those three nations seem to be aligned in creating the beast, because that's exactly what they've done with their prophecies and with their destiny. They've not just become a family of nations and a great nation, but they've also been a thorn in the side of the whole world. That's Judah. That's the Jews. That's the modern Israel. But they've controlled the gate of their enemies. All the prophecies concerning Israel were fulfilled by the British Commonwealth and fulfilled by the United States, and are fulfilled by Judah being the thorn in the side, the pain in the ass for the whole world. And this is part of the awakening process. And it's been, they've created for a lot of people hell on earth, literally. And they are the three terrorist nations of the world: Great Britain and the Commonwealth nations along with her, the United States, and in more recent times, the modern state, the modern Zionist state of Israel. These are the demons. This is the false prophet, this is the beast, and of course the Vatican has to be thrown in there as the false prophet, because it's one of the city-states, along with Washington, D.C. and the city of London, that have controlled the world in our modern era. But this is all what has built up to the present time. And it's not completely let go yet. It hasn't. It's still holding on, because there are still people that haven't awakened yet. And we're moving into a new world, a new paradigm, a new age. It's nothing to be afraid of, you fundamentalist Christians. Jesus promised a new age. And in fact, it says in the book of Revelation, "Behold, I make all things new." He that sat on the throne said, "Behold, I make all things new." So we're moving into that new era that was promised, not just in Christian scriptures, but in Muslim scriptures, in the Quran. And it was foretold in the Bhagavad-Gita and the Buddhist and Hindu writings from the East. It was foretold in the Hopi prophecy and the Mayan prophecies. It was foretold by indigenous stories that we would come upon another golden age, another time of great fruition, where the whole earth would bloom, the deserts would bloom like a rose, and that which was dead would bring forth life, the dry bones that Ezekiel saw, the valley of dry bones. Shall these bones live again? And flesh was put upon the bones, and they were joined together to produce life again. And this is what I see happening in our planet right now. It's what I see happening in the human family. No, it's not happening as quickly as I'd like. I'd be the first to admit it. But it is happening. And there is evidence of it for those that look for the evidence. If you're going to put your attention on mainstream news and on what people are doing around you, and you're mixing with people that are not awake or that are strongly attached to the old paradigm, you're not going to see it. That's just the way it is. You're not going to see it. But if you allow yourself to connect with some of the visionaries and some of the people that are called the dreamers, like John Lennon sang about, they say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. We're going to be moving into a time of great peace, great accomplishment, great creativity. It'll be another renaissance. This is what lies ahead. And about forgetting the past. I really don't think that that's the right word. Forgiving the past is more appropriate to me. We need to forgive what has happened before, what has gone before us, what brought us to this point. We need to forgive that, but not forget it. We need to remember, because we need to remember what it took to gain the wisdom that we're gaining, to gain the insights that we're gaining as to how life works. Of course we've been told lies. Of course we've been living in a planet where everything is corrupted and everything is backwards and upside down, and nothing is what it appears to be. We've lived in a world of appearances, and it didn't look very good, because literally we were creating hell on earth. But even in that hell, there were pockets of heaven. And even in the greatest darkness, there's always been light. Even in the greatest bondage, there's always been the flame of freedom burning in the human heart. And it continues to burn to this day. And it burns even in the heart of those that you wouldn't expect, because it is the eternal flame. This is what God laid hold of humanity for. As Paul wrote in Philippians, I don't think that I've already attained it. I'm not already perfect. I haven't arrived yet. But I lay hold, I press forward, and I lay hold of that for which I was laid hold of. That we are all called. Many are called. Some are chosen. Some are chosen. But really, in effect, we're all chosen to become more than what we thought we were, to become better than we thought we could possibly ever be. And by better, I don't mean self-righteous better. That's not what I'm talking about. That's the kind of better that the religions have given us, and it's a false righteousness. It's a self-righteousness. It's not true holiness, because it's not whole. It's been based on separation. It's been based on fear. It's been based on all of the negative emotions, without integrating them and seeing the benefit and the lesson that was learned, without developing the wisdom. Religion has given us all of the division and all of the war and all of the conflict and all of the corruption. Religion has done that for us. Okay? Religion, that which has bound us to the old paradigm, but we're breaking loose. The strings are being cut, the chains are being broken asunder, and the scales are being taken off of our eyes so that we can see what we weren't able to see before. And we've been laid hold of by God from the very beginning. Now it's put in Christian terms. Of course, it's from the New Testament. It's going to be in Christian terms, but think of it in terms of whatever religion you are, because it isn't about the religion. It's about a greater truth, a greater reality, that the divine has never abandoned humanity, because humanity is the divine's creation, and we have a destiny. We have a destiny, a higher calling, to rise up above the morass of all the suffering and pain and criminality and all of the things that have become so familiar to each of us as we've traversed this plane called Earth in the 20th and 21st century. We've gone through all of this stuff, but it's for a purpose, and I want you to see that. I want you to not hold the past and let the past anchor you to itself, but I want you to allow the future, the calling that lifts us up and edifies us and builds us from within ourselves. The kingdom of heaven is within each of us. That is the flame of freedom. That is the peace on earth. That is the place where we know our Maker, and we realize that we are our Maker, because the me that I discover is also the divine that I discover in me, and the divine and me are one. And that's the whole revelation, that it's all one thing. It's all one tribe, one family, one God, one faith, one truth, one love. It's all one. And we are each brothers and sisters. We are each of the same family. And yes, some of us have played dark roles. Yes, others have played light roles. Yes, the light and the dark have conflicted with each other and not been able to reach a place of of bending enough so that there can be reconciliation. But the ministry of Christ is the ministry of reconciliation. He's in the world reconciling the world to himself. And in the world, where is he in the world? Everywhere. In each human being. On every plant, on every planet too. I mean, I was going to say every continent. But truthfully, the Spirit of Christ is beyond even the planet Earth. And our extraterrestrial brothers are here in great numbers. They are. The angelic realm is impinging more and more and more on the human realm because humans are just physical angels. Or, in some cases, if you're playing a dark role, a physical demon. But in any case, whether you're an angel or a demon, you are still part of what is all that is. That is, the Creator is all that is. There's nothing outside of the Creator and nothing outside of creation. There cannot be. There cannot be any separation. It's all one. It's always been one, despite appearances to the contrary. It's always had a plan. There's always been a high call. There's always been a goal. There's always been a prize to be obtained. And that prize lies just ahead of us as we're at the threshold of the doors opening to bring us the kingdom of heaven on earth, to bring us the peace that we long for, to bring us the real freedom, not just liberty, but real freedom to be and to do and to express and to create and to experience life in all of its majesty and all of its fullness. This is what lies ahead of us in the rest of this year, 2013, and in the new year. This is what's being built. This is what's being unfolded and revealed. This is what's coming to pass in our lives and in our human experience. And it's a beautiful thing. And I want you to put your focus there. But don't completely forget the past. Don't completely forget where we've come from, because we need to remember that that's what brought us to the place that we are now. And see the gift in it and not the terror in it. See the revelation of good and not fear the revelation of look at how bad it was. Yeah, it's been horrible for a lot of people, but we've been promised that all the tears will be wiped from our eyes, and that we will know even as we are also known, and that we will come into a newness of life that has been unprecedented. Eye has not seen nor ear heard, neither has it entered into the heart of man the things that God has prepared for those that love him. And we all can love. And he is love. She is love. The God and the goddess are love. And together they exist within each of us, and it's our job to bring the masculine and the feminine energies into our heart, the dark and the light into our heart, the human and the divine into our heart, and integrate the paradoxes, integrate all of the polarities within our heart, the heart of love, where the flame of freedom burns forever. We're coming home, friends, and I want you to see that. I want you to feel it. I want you to know it. And we're all going to experience it. Thank you for listening. Namaste.